Hello everyone, welcome back to McSolaar TV. Hope you're having a great day. In this video, we unbox some pretty rad new gear here next to me. I posted a couple of pictures online asking you guys to guess. There was only one correct guess for one of the two units. And no, it's not a pair. It's two units, two different brands. Same category though, and for one I received so many requests. Are you gonna review that? Because it's a new unit. It just came out on the market not long ago. But I'm pretty sure everyone will want to hear both of them because they are two amazing units. And these two units came in at a perfect time since Pro Tools with the last update got rid, finally, of the 32 physical I/O limits. So to integrate these two pieces in my setup, I already got another 16A converter from Motu. So I will expand my physical I/Os. Without further ado, let me back off a little bit because this box is big. Let's not drop it. This was the one that someone actually guessed correctly online. I think many people will be somewhat surprised, or at least they wouldn't expect me to get this EQ. Yes, this is another EQ, I already gave it away. But I will explain why this choice, because especially when you have a lot of gear like I do, context is everything, you know? Explaining why I felt this was a unit that was going to improve, you know, my workflow, my final results, my mixes, my masters is important, as opposed to, oh, I just bought a random EQ and I almost dropped it. I'm trying to be gracious, but I'm not going to. There you go. All right. And that one user guessed right. This is the MAAG EQ4M, as in Mastering Edition. I already opened it, so I know that the box is gonna fall apart. I don't want to drop the EQ. In the box, there's a power supply cord, of course. This one doesn't have an external power supply. And this thing, it's beautiful in person. I hope it will come through in the video. Let me look at it one more time. This thing is so pretty, the faceplate. Here you go. MAAG EQ4M. This EQ is basically the reincarnation of the old and sought after NTI EQ. It's made by the same people that were making the original, and it's famous for the airband, okay? But while I do love the airband, and this is one of the reasons because I got the MAAG, I love just as much all the other bands, especially the 40 Hertz, the sub, the 160. Long story short, the reason because I got this EQ is because I danced around this EQ for a long time and I somewhat didn't want to get it, okay? I used the plugin for a long time and it's a fine plugin, okay? It works great. I mixed and mastered successfully many songs with the plugin, nothing wrong with it. But there is no doubt that the hardware just has something more. And I repeat, I did not want to get this, okay? Because we don't like to waste money or to spend money at all, like in general, especially if we can save something, because the difference in price is of course quite significant. But in the past, let's say year, I found myself reaching for the plugin very often. And sometimes I was going back and forth between the curves that the plugin has, which mimic the one of the hardware, and the sound of the plugin. So I like the curves, but often I felt the limits of how the plugin sounds because it's a plugin. Again, nothing wrong with it, and I used it successfully many times. But even if it's 50% of the times that I feel like, you know, I wish I had the hardware, because, you know, I feel the limit of the plugin. Especially keep in mind, like I said at the beginning, it's all about context, okay? My mastering chain is of the highest level, okay? The converters, all the gear, the SPL EQ, especially when you have an EQ like the SPL, a 120 volts technology that is so transparent and precise, and when you EQ with that EQ, it just feels part of the music, okay? It doesn't matter at what level of your career you are, hopefully you keep improving and keep training your hearing more and more. And that's when I started feeling, you know, that every time that I inserted a plugin in my analog chain, it was kind of a trade-off. I like the curve, and but I can feel the limit of the plugin. And especially, like I said, for the latest jobs, I found myself reaching for the MAAG EQ more and more often, so it made sense for me to finally pull the trigger and get the hardware. I will probably do a separated video on the subject, because many people will probably wonder, you have the drummer, you have the API, you have the SPL, which is a full parametric equalizer that can do all kinds of shapes for belts. It doesn't have filters, it doesn't have shelves, so that's something to keep in mind. But nor does this, okay? Because the MAAG EQ, aside from the airband, these are all belts, okay? So some people would probably ask, why can't you emulate the belts of the MAAG EQ with the SPL? Well, first of all, it's a matter of speed. The SPL has an infinite number of frequencies and Q settings, and plus the proportional Q. So it takes a minute to set up a band to sound almost like the MAAG EQ, but you will never go into match. And like I said, I will probably make a video on why we need more than one EQ. And I'm not just talking about hardware, but why can't we do everything with Pro Q3, okay? Which on paper could recreate any kind of bell, shelf, tilt, whatever, right? So just a quick look for those who are not familiar. This EQ was designed to give the minimum phase shift and the minimum coloration possible to the signal when EQing. There's a lot more, which we will go through it in the dedicated video, but it has fixed frequencies for each band. So we have sub, which is I think around 10, I'm not sure, 40, 160, I have to read the others, 650, 2.K, and then the air band, which goes from 40 and down, you can see, okay? Each band is fixed frequency, and you have positive or negative gain, and you also have an input attenuator to level match when you boost or cut, or when the signal is too hot. It's a dual mono stereo equalizer. You can bypass each channel independently, and of course all the knobs are dented, because this is the mastering version. I will answer a question that most likely some people will ask. What's the difference between the mastering rack version and the 500 series version? It is actually a big difference. Aside from one or two more frequencies in the airband, I don't remember which one they added on this, the biggest difference is the headroom. This one, the rack mastering version, has a 29 dB of headroom. The 500 series modules only have either 24 or 25 dB of headroom. In any case, is a big difference, okay? 4 or 5 dB headroom difference is a big difference, especially in a chain like mine, where all my gear is high headroom and high quality. That would have been a bottleneck. On top of that, I don't know if the 500 series still has all the controls dented. Maybe, maybe not, but that the headroom is the main difference, and of course the added frequencies. So this is the MAAG EQ4 Mastering Edition, new edition, and Mixbus TV. One of the things that I love about the MAAG is that it's so immediate. All right, those are the frequencies. You turn a knob, you immediately know if that's gonna work or not. While, for example, for the SPL, you tweak so much, and it's a more precise equalizer that it's amazing. I mean, it can bring a vocal or a vowel out of an entire mix. There's a 2-track mix, or bring up a snare. So it's an amazing EQ, but it's very tweaky, all right? The MAAG is more a sweetening EQ. Same for this one, it's like a broad stroke rebalance EQ. The API, totally different. It's like aggressive and punchy and colored if you want something to pop up. So I think it's a great combination, the one that I have right now. Stay tuned, because we are gonna do videos for both of them, and let me know what you think in the comment down below. Thank you for watching. Check the info box for all my mixing courses, discounts and free plugins and all that. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stay safe. See you next time.
Hands on my neck, hands grip my throat, lift me up.